Oh, and welcome back to, or what I should say is the start of Danganronpa the animation, which is technically different than Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc because of what's to come later. Danganronpa different. Hi there! Sorry to interrupt the video. I know that I might look a little bit weird seeing as how this is many months in the future, but I just want to let you know this video is re-uploaded. This is a re-upload due to the fact that the very first rendition of this video not only got copyright claimed, but also blocked in nearly every country. I don't know why it didn't just ban it worldwide. It did it in select countries. That's besides the point. This is a second iteration that just has barely any context of, like, the show going on in the background. You'll kind of get a sense of what's going on if you skip ahead and see what it's actually like, but I just wanted this to be out there. This video is meant for my thoughts and opinions on the anime itself. It is not to showcase the anime. It's just my thoughts. That's it. So this is not me trying to get around a copyright so I earn money, even though that I can't because YouTube. This is just me trying to make sure that my thoughts actually get out. So leaving that as is, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the video. You know, if you can find any enjoyment out of this stupid rendition of it now. The whole reason that I'm explaining this is for current viewers and or any newcomers that might be wondering what the hell this is all about. Simply a just reaction to the game in comparison to the anime. That is literally what I'm doing. Don't expect anything more, just my thoughts and opinions from the full game to what is the anime scrunched up into 13 episodes. I don't exactly know how, but whatever's before me, I'm just going to take with a grain of salt and let it come at me. I don't know if it's going to be bad. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I merely just have to wait and see. So, wasting no time at all, automatically starts with a Monokuma Theater. Okay, a little bit more fluid of animation, interestingly enough. But it still has the same art style, which is interesting. Like, that is directly compared to the game. Almost to the point of taking it straight from the game. I mean, rushing through exposition to get to the meat and the good part, I guess makes sense. For a lot of the new stuff that they bring to the party, they keep a lot of the same stuff from the game. Interesting. By the way, just for anybody asking why I'm watching the sub versus the dub, personal preference, and I have already experienced the English version, so why not? I think it's funny how they drag the characters into the sprites from the game, or the same position as the sprites from the game. There she is. And also there's she. Damn, these introductions go really fast. And they kept the music. Oh my god. I do like the thought that the kids in the background are still conversing with one another. Like, in the game, you only get the idea that you two are interacting, really. Even though that's not really the case. So this is what Monokuma sounds like in the Japanese version. Ooh. Pick up this scene as well. I don't think it has the same punch because it doesn't linger there for a second. Damn. Oh, that is lovely. Being only able to see the black side is actually really cool that I don't think was implemented in the game once until, like, the actual execution part, but that was with the slot machine only. Kept the same angle. That sounded wimpy. Huh. They keep even more of the music. Interesting. Ah! Oh, the music. Oh, it's so good. They've got a different intro sequence. It's designed a little bit differently, but still got the same effect, interestingly enough. I was wondering if they were gonna do that for like the intro sequence, but I feel as if like that's gonna waste so much time for the rest of the series. They're gonna need an opening and an ending. Maybe. Maybe they won't. That's different. I can't believe I still fell for that golden root bullshit before. One thing that I think is interesting being able to see in the animation and not just through the game is their outfits are so different that the pair looks okay in every scene. The black versus the white is clean. Kyoko was in that scene, by the way. So you saw Monokuma instead. Interesting. I feel as if, like, with the pacing of this, if you don't play the game yourself, you are so fucking lost in this first setup of this game. It just goes so fast. That's interesting. And it was at this point that Sakura was already told to kill, but she still was waiting. What? Why was that sound effect used? I always expected Monokuma's mouth to move right alongside with the voice, but I guess being a robot would make sense why it doesn't move. See, like, there's no impact for this stuff. It's like the turning of pages in a manga. Unfortunately, you get the effect of, like, having it revealed to you. This, it just goes by so fast that it loses that. More of the same music, but it almost doesn't seem fitting. Why were you smiling? More aspects that they still continue to use. See, and they're also gonna have an ending. It's really weird to me. Ooh, what? Okay, this is really weird. And this is the Japanese version. They're using an English song. Oh, but everything's like flipped from the previous. Are they gonna have multiple intros every time? And they have the mono machine. One thing that they didn't even touch on is the kids interacting with one another in the rest of the days. They immediately went to trying to find a way out, obviously. But like, there's no attachment that you gain from other characters. So it's just like, I don't really care who dies right now. I actually want to know who was in charge of animating this. Studio Lurch. Okay. This is the first time that the show is taking time to set some stuff up. But I mean, I guess they kind of have to set up the predicament. I love how both the kids just completely ignored the announcement because they're used to it. Meanwhile, I listen to it every time. See, that sucks. In the game, you don't get a single idea that it's supposed to come. Except for just intuition. When I was speculating everything. Like, that really sucks. Having that foreboding. Or foreshadowing. So this is when they address it. Okay, so at least there's some interaction. Like, between the students. Okay, I like the reveal that there are still locked rooms. That was really a stupid reveal. The first thing that they revealed is just dirty bed sheets, not the scratches and everything. At least they got this. Holy shit. Damn. At least I got the same effect on that. But, damn, Makoto's scream. The voice actor requires more. And this part right here led to the biggest undiscovery for me. Oh, they don't even show it. What a cop-out. Wait a minute. Toko wasn't supposed to pass out. Wasn't supposed to pass out here. That hurts. That wasn't ever mentioned, the thing with Mondo. Interesting. It's interesting what they decide to keep in from the game. Even finding the evidence. That's weird. Oh. This is... Everything's just getting revealed this quickly. This is much more enjoyable as a game. Because there's no revealing of the evidence. It's all just being put out. That's the only thing that's been revealed. And there's 2 dead. Even this is a different outro. Interesting. I forgot that's a common practice to use either the intro or the ending for another instance. Normally, for the first episode, the ending would become the intro for the next episode, but this is reversed. So is this picture gonna be slowly revealed after each murder or something? But they've got Mukuro's face in this, which is interesting. Okay, they're not wasting any time trying to get into the episode, so they're having the intro music play now. In just under an hour, we're already at the first class trial. I just want to point that out. What the fuck? Okay, being able to see the height difference now is actually something cool that you don't get from the game. This is right around the time that Sakura was starting to trust Hina. I don't think there's any point to use that aspect from the game in the animation, unfortunately. So they even kept the manga aspect. But they go through it very fast. Why the hell is Celeste all the way off to the side when she's talking? That was terrible. Whoever chose to animate that like that does not deserve their job. Well, I mean, actually, no, that's direction. That's not even animation. Okay, yeah, that's not... So much for the ultimate detective. She's not really leading much for this. I mean, obviously, at this point, she wasn't really known as the ultimate detective, but it's still... They use the same sort of imagery. Well, they just kind of used it as a basis. Alright, there's the music for the rhythm game and the tempo increase. Alright, interesting. I loved this screen when I first saw it. I wonder how much they're gonna show for this one. That is directly taken from the game, isn't it? That doesn't even look reanimated. That is, though. There are a few extra frames in the animation, but it looks one-to-one. Like, this was actually... These animations were actually pretty well kept. Million fungos? Fungos? What? See, like, that joke is completely wasted, because Sayaka only mentions it once in the anime. Like, why? That's next to useless here.
So either we fight
This nacho fry anime Taco Bell thing really makes me uncomfortable. I'm going to admit it now. It makes me really uneasy every time it comes up. A bit different from how the game treats every other person that's in that predicament. 9 times out of 10, it's the girls. Oh, the rhythm game. But this is the new intro. Interesting. It's interesting that they would choose to have music made specifically for the anime. Okay, so we're seeing the posters in both rooms in there. That kind of spoils it a bit. I read something recently that refutes Celeste's idea of a zero-sum game because it's technically incorrect. It's technically more equivalent to like a -2 game. A zero-sum game would have something bad happen and then have something to repair it, basically. So, say Sayaka dies, someone else would come in and replace her, is what a zero-sum game would be. In this, because we lose Leon, it is not a zero-sum game. You know what's interesting? When Monokuma was explaining that more floors were open, I thought to myself, this is normally only used to display the messages of the night and everything else. Pre-recorded messages, as we previously thought. 9 times out of 10, Monokuma would come to us in person to deliver those messages. So that is different. Okay, so that's how they avoid having Chihiro go to the pool. Because they just don't go in at all. The voice doesn't really match the reaction, but oh well. The voice is nice and the animation is nice, it's just they don't go together. That one, fine. See, the series is now taking time to explain events, but I mean, this one also sets up for the future. But I mean, the one with Toko and Byakuya wasn't fully necessary, but I guess it sets up for the future as well. Oh, they're already jumping to the Celeste T thing. Because we already know that Celeste hates being just trapped in here with us in this engagement, I'd like to know what she ever thought about just being in school before, obviously, all the mind erasure stuff. Like, did she ever enjoy school life with the rest of us? Like, that's something to think about. And there's a lot of stuff that they just decide to reveal every now and again. Like the spilled, protein. Yeah, it wasn't coffee. No, was it protein coffee? See, this is where I don't mind, the show just dragging the person along. Because that is literally what's happening even in the game. You're being dragged to the murder location for this one. There's no blood on the poster. Oh, her... The eyes are open. Chihiro's eyes were open. Actually, no, I knew that, because you can see it in... Oh, but that side angle makes it so much worse. I hope for the third anime that the show takes its time to reveal... it takes time to reveal the stuff and it doesn't just show everything off. I mean, obviously this was made in tandem with anyone who didn't really want to play the game, I guess. See, all that evidence goes by so fast. The viewer has no way of, like, keeping everything in mind. Genocider's Show? Show. Now they're calling the killer Genocider Show, and not Syo. That's interesting. Okay, I was wondering if they were gonna add this in. This associative identity disorder. Okay, so they changed that. Yikes. Okay, so if they handled that better, are they gonna handle the revelation of Chihiro's gender any better? That is creepy that she can just stand up like that back again. Also, how's the hair moving on its own? Specialty Super High School Killer. One thing that I didn't even notice is that they're called the Supers, and not even Ultimates. I feel as if, like, the laugh for Genocide or Genocide Jack Jill show was a little bit better in the English version. Sorry. I just want to put it into perspective. I think these cases normally took me almost 2.5 hours sometimes to complete. From start to finish, even with all the mini games and the setting up of the manga and the punishment would take me even all of the confiding and all the setup took me at least 2.5 hours for each trial. They are jam-packing this entire trial into 24 minutes. It just seems so fast that it doesn't seem enjoyable. Okay, so the thing with Fujisaki's gender still is a bit rocky, but I mean, at least we didn't have to go ourselves to check out Chihiro's body. I haven't heard this music. It's interesting that they're adding it now. Oh shit. This revelation has even more of a sinking feeling than in the game. In this, I actually get to see the despair form every frame. I find it interesting that they took it upon themselves to make Taka move over to Mondo, because in my mind, it almost seemed like the kids were bound to where they stood. Ugh. That voice crack was bad. Almost to the point like where they were chained up. Like in my head, it almost seemed like their feet were either glued or their arms or legs were somehow like wrapped in, or maybe like the thing that they were standing on just closed in behind them. Something like that. Like just something that would make them not be able to leave. The anime took it upon itself to design Chihiro young. This is an alternate version to Chihiro that we've never seen. The difference between English and Japanese sentence structure is that in Japanese, the sentence structure would be like, he, Mondo Owada, in regards to his brother, killed him, basically, is what the structure of that sentence. So the revelation of the fact that Mondo killed his brother doesn't have as much of a punch in English, unfortunately. One thing that I found out about Mondo's punishment is the fact that it technically relates to little boy Sambo. I don't think that's even right. But apparently there's one part in the book where... Oh, that's what the punishment is called, Little Black Sambo. Okay, so, yeah. Apparently it deals with Sambo, the character in the book, or I think something else, being chased around by tigers in a circle, and that's as much as I remember, unfortunately.
I had that book.
You had that book? Yeah.
We had a book called Little Black Sambo.
Yeah, it's got, obviously, the connotations of
Well, that's what it was.
racism, but yeah. Ah, yes, this scene. Well, it's a bit more creepy than it was in the original. Oh, they show the map of the school. That has not been used at all. Ah, yes, the 10 billion yen. Yeah. Is the voice different? It might still be the same. Oh. They already have Taka engaging with it. It's really weird that they introduce Taka to alter ego here. And the fact that Kyoko's doing it is even weirder. The angle that's needed just to fit in all the hair. What? You're showing the what? Okay, that's odd that you're finding the photos. It was appropriate to jump to the conclusion that Monokuma forged the photo, but not with alter ego showing it off. It's interesting that they had Hina say that alter ego isn't a normal girl, because she, out of everyone, seemed to adopt it the most. Okay, alright, now I get to see how the name is pronounced. Or they don't give Kyondo a mixed name. Oh, that hammer is really tiny. That is not the size of the hammer that I thought it was. Justice Robo. Okay. That's different, because the letters wouldn't match up, but oh well. Okay, It was Celeste that drove everybody to split into two groups before. That's odd. Okay, at least they portray it, that he's moving around in the school. How do you not notice the body is gone before you check on the person that's passed out next to where the body was? If she had passed out in the hallway, I could understand, but it literally next to the body. Okay, and that mallet is even bigger than what I thought it looked like. Ugh. Ugh. Now that I'm, like, rewatching that, you know what hurts a bit more than others? Is that he actually knows that his friend is the one that killed him. And I've mentioned it before, everybody didn't know that they were killing their friends, they were just killing strangers. But he knows that he was killed by his friend. Also, why... I don't know why I haven't mentioned this. Why is Makoto in this photo if he's not dead? I wonder if in the last episode we're gonna see Junko in the photo, or we're just not gonna see her and have her take the photo. You know what's odd? They don't have anybody protecting the bodies, because Sakura is there. And that's never been mentioned for any of the other cases. No one's protecting the bodies. This is the first one that they're taking time to show the evidence. Some of this shit is just being collected as evidence when they haven't even talked about it. So I take back what I mentioned about them taking time out of their day to animate the discovery of the evidence. Also, why is there a box behind Celeste? Anyone who didn't play the game that would just watch the show must have no fucking clue what the hell the bullet shit is about. Why do you have it, though? That's really odd. That's interesting that that's the first instances of them calling Sakura ogre. That's another discrepancy that the English version has over the Japanese version of the game. When Kyoko found that note stuffed inside Hifumi's pants, in the Japanese version, she simply says pantsu, which is Japanese for underwear. From what I've been told is that there was an order to how it was dubbed over. It went from Japan to I believe, British English, which was then brought over to America. And from American English, even though that it would sound like the interpretation would be near the same, because there's different forms of the word for underwear and pants, such as trousers in the UK and Britain and everywhere over there in Europe, that's where a discrepancy occurs. So that's why everybody else is more shocked than Kyoko that she found the underwear in the pants. I find the screen shake in anime to be fucking annoying. I don't know if I'm alone in that, but I find it annoying as all hell. Let them bark. Sorry, even the name has changed. I love how nonchalant Monokuma is in the background. And here's the despicable part. Oh, this is weird. Okay, that sounds literally putting down a dog. I love that sound. That's really creative. I don't know if it's utilized in other aspects, but that, I'll say electric guitar, that's almost commonly used as like a violin for scary movies. Like, oh, that was really cool. When are they gonna cut for this second storage room? Is Makoto gonna actually get hit? Or is he... Okay, nice cut. Oh, damn, there's more. Oh yeah, now I remember what this sound is. It's Sans! You know what's interesting? Because Hifumi's not even in the mix anymore, we never got to see the bath event. But I mean, oh well. Get to the meat, not spend some time on the buns. What is he doing? That is completely fresh for the anime. He doesn't like the sound of that. I mean, I already know. I don't know why I'm commenting about that, but oh well. Oh! Ooh, that's even harder. Did his glasses come off in the game? I don't think so. Even Makoto in the anime does the same thing that I do. That was like 3 sounds, just 3 grunts from the hero. Is that the voice actor for Frieza? Actually, I don't think I've ever heard the Japanese voice actor for Frieza. I forgot she was giving him the silent treatment. She even blushes here. Yeah, you can't tell me that there's not at least some, but, you know, it could be, I guess, construed as it's just her confiding in a friend. Still don't understand how the computer can feel that, but oh well. What is going on? This is like a proper Monokuma theater. Huh. He immediately goes for it with just his elbow. Without regard to the rules. Or his own health. She is still smiling in this, so they haven't changed that. I'm glad about that. Because that was never brought up in the game. I didn't see the canister on the floor, by the way. You know what's interesting? Makoto didn't interact with, I think it was Genocide Jill at the time, and Hiro. I passed them in my playthrough. canister's there now. One thing that I don't know if I've already mentioned is the fact that where are the living people going to end up in this photo? Because if that's going to be like at the very end, what would the animation studio, at what point would they decide to add in the living students? That's the only thing that I'm confused about, is when would they add them in? Because if Makoto's already in here, in what episode would everybody else be added in? Yeah, so Kyoko was the one that called for Makoto to go with her to find the footprints. But are they gonna measure the... They didn't measure the glass. No one's protecting the body. There's a little bit of differences here and there, but oh well. Now, I don't know if it's fair or just to compare this series, which was made from a game, to something like Detective Conan / Case Closed. That was a manga before it became an anime. But I actually don't know how the anime works. I've read the manga for Detective Conan, and I like that as well. But I feel as if, like, both the manga and the anime for Detective Conan takes its time to reveal the background behind characters and the evidence that gets found piece by piece, rather than just rushing right along through everything just to get it out, unfortunately. Maybe the anime is going to explain how the glass ended up in this bottle, because I've watched through my own playthrough and the second playthrough, or the playthrough that I'm watching in tandem with me recording my own. I wanted to make sure it's never mentioned how the glass piece that Kyoko finds in that bottle that Byakuya is drinking right now ends up in the bottle. There is simply a piece of glass that is from there. There's a piece of glass that is in that bottle, and it's the same glass that's from the broken window. It explains that it was already in there when the glass was broken. It's never explained how that piece of glass ended up in there. Is what I can't figure out. That shard of glass is much smaller than it was in the game, but oh well. Okay. So out of just pure chance, one single shard of glass just happened to end up in there. Ugh. Man, that bottle is tiny compared to her. Monokuma in the back. I love how the music just deteriorates. I think the pacing for this episode actually has been the best so far. This is the most revealing one that I've felt. Maybe not the actual evidence, like, when they were putting forth the evidence to figure out who killed Sakura, in it being herself. I think this is the most, like, time they've spent to reveal it, which helps it in this episode, and this episode alone. This reveal was gut-wrenching at first, and then the death just made me find it amusing, unfortunately. Like, if it had just been a single, like, few crushes, that would have been fine, but the fact that it turns over... Oh, God! Alter Ego felt pain. Oh, shit! I never even thought about that. The fact that Alter Ego can feel... So Alter Ego could feel that pain. And I'm glad that they added the detail of the crane operator, like, moving the sticks when adding those finishing details, and also backing up the crane. That is the first time the mouth is opened. Seeing that black side open up further is actually really cool. Oh, and the final 6 are right there. Interesting. Because the entire credits had everybody, like, squashed to make it fit in this time, because they had to end credits go quicker. One thing that I kind of want to know is where Junko was sleeping the entire time. I know that she's wearing heels, but it never even entered my head that she's taller than him. Ooh, we're gonna see the revelation of the third room on the 5th floor. I just realized in that shot, in the intro, Sayaka is actually there and in the elevator. That's interesting. I can't believe it's taken me 10 episodes to realize that. Oh yeah. Now that I think about it, what was even the point of having the pickaxe in the tool shed? That had Crazy Diamond written on it? I'm still uncertain why that was even there. Because this is animated, they can have more physical jokes than in the game, just because it was limited to certain sprites and everything. But well, not sprites, but whatever the word that I should use is, or the word that I should use for the occasion. Why does she hold it like that? What the fuck? Oh, yeah, I forgot that it changes. I was about to say, I'm okay with that reaction, and then it shifted. Why is he just beating a fish? That's gonna swing back and hit him. Yep. Why does she look so weird? Like her face like... Oh, why are we getting a look through it now? Weird. We're gonna have our first sexy event with Monokuma and Makoto. Yep, here we are. Actually, that didn't... that event didn't happen with Sayaka, now that I remember. Oh yeah, there was no revelation that he thought that maybe he grappled with, actual Junko. There should be no reason why he'd be worried for himself to be found out as the killer. One thing that I can prefer from the anime over the game is that I wasn't spoiled for this next murder. I do like that. And they're... Jeez. I was about to say, I happened to see her go flying off the side of the screen, but they made an even bigger effort for us to see that. That door is surprisingly small. I was about to say, is he just going to be hanging from the ceiling, just with his face pressed up against the camera? Damn, we're already going to the trial. I mean, I guess that makes sense considering they found the body and then had enough time to look out for the data room, but it feels as if like there was a lot more that they needed to discover, but oh well. Was there ever an instance where Kyoko mentioned that I would have to place my trust in her? Or Makoto would have to place her trust in her? I don't think that was mentioned this time. This is still like the first 5 minutes, and I feel as if like this is almost the end of the first, or of the 5th trial. How is there so much more after? That is the fastest trial that has been in this game. Or, well, technically it was also the fastest trial in the game, but it's even faster in the anime. It seems a lot more backstabby in the anime than in the game with Kyoko. In the show, it kind of seems like Kyoko just added it as like a little garnish on top. I love that they added the animation of the hair every time that pounds. That's really cool. Okay. That has to be the best shot in the show so far. That reveal of the broken glasses. Okay. If there was a perfectly good couch, why didn't Makoto sleep on that? Got to utilize both versions of the assassination. Cool. Or, not assassination, execution. That's a big ol' yikes. Ooh, that is my favorite shot so far as well. Having the background shift right alongside of them, but at a different pace. It's weird to say the least, but it still looks cool when animated like that. Another adjustment that I kind of like is that they all feel ashamed. Okay, so I know that there's 2 episodes in total left. How the hell are they going to make 2 episodes out of one trial when they've sped through every other trial in less than an episode? What the hell could they possibly do? Well, I guess they also still have to uncover the truth as well. I'm glad that the anime used the same positions that they used for the game. We got a glimpse of Junko in the actual one there. There were no freckles and some other things that were present. What's that? I forget, what is that supposed to be? Oh, it's the photo that everyone gets to dissuage everyone else. Oh, Jesus. This photo seems to be the same. Oh, that one's different. I don't like that he laughed before actually laughing. You don't even get to see more of it? You got to see more of it in the game. What the hell? Okay, so nitpicky shit that is actually technically kind of important. Even for a show like this, that is technically being adapted from a game. Show and don't tell. That is what is more important for animation, television, movies. Show and don't tell. There are exceptions, such as the Monogatari series. That is an excellent, amazing exclusion to that rule. Because the wordplay and dialogue is that entertaining. However, there is so much that just goes completely under the radar because it's all done by mouth and word of mouth, and you're just supposed to believe it. See, why couldn't they have done that every time? That's an amazing animation. All right, let's hear the voice actress. That is deeper than I thought. Oh yeah, nothing was even mentioned about the tragedy, right? I love that instantaneous switch. I'm still uncertain as to whether or not Junko and Mukuro just adopted the Monokuma figure as their own, or if they also headed the tragedy, because the staple that is Monokuma just happens to be present in both cases. That's what I cannot fathom. Okay. Remember what I mentioned about show, don't tell? This is perfect. It's sad that it took 13 fucking episodes, but oh well. The fact that despair is basically infectious is completely true. Simply because all you need to do is just spell out one lie, and doubt can form. That doubt can grow into something else. All honesty, that's all that it needs. So, whether you believe a little fight between two boys fighting over some girl that they both like, perfectly acceptable. The whole world doing the exact same thing, also understandable. A bit harder to believe, but it's still very well possible. I know exactly what is causing that sound. It's those tubes with those little noisemakers inside. I thought I had heard it earlier in the series, but I didn't want to mention it. But now that I've heard it a second time, I know exactly what it is. I kind of wish that he had like hopped over the guardrail that they're in front of to join him. Like nobody goes on the other side, which... Okay. Because the show doesn't delve into how much of a little shit Byakuya is, he's actually tolerable in the show just because he is himself. He's an asshole, but he's not deplorable like he is in the game. Just because they don't talk about him playing with a dead person's body enough. Upgrade from school level lucky to school level hope. Oh, there's the music again. But wouldn't her being stopped from experiencing the despair that she wants be even a higher degree of despair that she would experience, is not being able to experience that experience? And then, couldn't you just tell her that by not experiencing that she'll never know? And then would just be constantly in a circle of, is this the worst feeling? What the hell kind of sound was that? Okay, so now how do you end? It opens, blinding light, but is there gonna be a spinny thing as well? No spinny thing this time. Interesting. But it just ends. Okay, interesting to say the least. But, I mean, there's literally no connection to any of the characters I got from this. It just happened, basically. Honestly, I could totally see that when this was airing, if it ever really did air and it didn't go straight to video, I could totally see that this just went under everybody's radar. Like, I can totally see people just watching, like, the first 2 episodes and then just, nah, I'm okay. And then, obviously, we get the final after-credits scene. What the hell? Okay, that's genuinely kind of interesting that it would show the pink rabbit, because there was no season 2 of the series. There was no season 2 of the show, I should say, the animation. But there was, obviously, the second game was made in the third animation, which I don't know if will include that rabbit, because it's a pink rabbit and it's not a bear, apparently. But that wraps in the last episode, or the last episodes of the first game, because technically in the school life, if you completed every event for Monokuma to make his backups, you basically got a cutscene where the kids accidentally assembled her, I think, because I think it's supposed to be a baby girl, like a baby girl rabbit, I think, or something like that. They accidentally assemble that version, which destroys Monokuma or something. I was reading it on a wiki, I think. That's the other route. And then the items are just arbitrary. Essentially, it was just affection items that didn't really mean anything. It was just for posterity collection's sake. I didn't really care too much. I just wanted to experience in those, and I'm glad that I was able to address it in this episode. But yeah, I don't... If they had gone on their own, like they will in technically season 3, I probably would see why there would be a reason for it, but I don't know why anyone wouldn't just play the game, because in all honesty, the game is a better experience, and it's more fun, and it's more enjoyable to just sit through. People worked hard, so I can't knock them down for that. Honestly, the people who did work on it deserve the credit. It's just, I don't see what they could have improved on it. Physical comedy aside, for Monokuma's just actions in between where he's like dancing and everything, I guess, but that's about it. I don't really think it's that necessary. And one thing that I hope when season 3, when I get around to reacting with season 3, and I've got a bit of a twist as well, hopefully everything will work out. The timing for that is unfortunately going to be a little bit sketchy, because I need to get it done at least before October, and it is currently August 2nd. I don't know what time in October, but I need to at least finish the second game and 2.5, which I think is called another episode or something. I don't know. I just need to shut up and get on with it. And hopefully you're looking forward to the second game. I don't know what that's called. Let me look it up, actually, so long as I'm here. And there we are. The second game is Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. Hopefully you're looking forward to that on the channel, and that's about it. I want to leave you with one final message and one final goodbye. Have a nice day.